All right, Mavericks, let's read the TWAB this week at Bungie, January 19th, 2023, written for us by Hippie. This week at Bungie, we're talking sandbox news, matchmaking, and we're getting amped up for Neptune. Before we jump into this week's TWAB, let's do a brief recap of what went down in last week's blog post for anyone that may have missed it. Grandmaster changes, including power levels. Iron Banner update after week 1 with Fortress, including the change to frequency. Iron Banner will be available 3 weeks each season. We got our Oprah Winfrey on our armor mods, focusing costs in this economy, Doggo behind the scenes looks, and some good news about the goodest of good boys stay in Destiny 2, an important Bungie store update. So if you haven't checked that out, go do that, but we're not right now. Right now, we've got this week's TWAB to dive into. For this week, we're diving a little deeper into the shiny new trailer that just dropped, highlighting a deep dive with Bungie developers into upcoming build crafting changes and chatting about matchmaking, weapon and ability changes, and more. So without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? Friendly reminder from our player security team. Some people whose accounts were banned have said they don't remember cheating or having any sort of cheat software on their platform of choice. Anytime we investigate these cases, both recent and in the past, we often find that they gave their account to someone else to play the game for them. Because of this, we want to again remind everyone that you must protect your account and do not use account recovery services. Saying that your fingers were not on the keyboard when cheating occurred will not be considered during the thorough appeal process. Get in, Guardian. We're going to Neomuna. Can you smell what the Neptune is cooking? Okay, so that doesn't make sense. And we all know I'm no Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, but we do have an epic, if we say so ourselves, which we are saying so ourselves right now. New trailer showing off more of our upcoming Neptunian adventure with Lightfall. I love how Hippie types exactly how she talks. Like if you talk to Hippie, she talks exactly like how she types the TWAB. I love it. I actually didn't see this trailer, so I'm going to watch it right now.
Just look at this place. We always thought we were the last ones left.
Welcome to Neptune, Lightbearer. I hope we can find common ground.
Cloud Strider.
Or at least common enemies. Callus is ready to annihilate this city.
Quick aside, for more information on the Cloud Striders, go check out the Lightfall reveal. I had an interview with the devs during the Lightfall revealed, and they kind of told us a little bit more about the Cloud Striders.
Stand with me to defend Neomuna and its people.
Oh, I'm gonna love being on Neomuna.
Oh, is that you, my tenacious little
Oh, Callus is back. I love Callus. He's my favorite enemy.
To be tonight's
My favorite frenemy.
entertainment.
Oh! Oh, I can't wait to fight those guys. Quick, Strand.
Is this all the Traveler's chosen guardians can muster? You cannot escape oblivion. Embrace the end.
Ooh! It's gonna be so lit! Oh man, love it. All right. Lightfall is almost here. I still can't believe it. The chance to swoosh around like some sort of undying cyberpunk-inspired Spider-Man will be here before you know it. We're excited to show you more about Cloud Strider, Strand, and the brand new location to explore. For now, can we just take a second to appreciate those sweet, sweet slow-mo shots, because those are dope. Bob the Guardian Builder and the evolution of build crafting. Build crafting. It's a massive part of Destiny, but it's also an ever-evolving component to what it means to be a Guardian that's always ready for what's next. For those that may have missed it, the team shared a more in-depth look at how build crafting has evolved and what it will look like in the near future. particularly with anti-champion systems, the new loadout system, and more. So what was talked about exactly? Glad you asked. Here's a simplified breakdown for those looking to learn more about specific topics. Loadouts and mod customization, consolidate, how the system has evolved and what areas the team wanted to address first, how the mod customization screen will operate, champions, new ways to counter champions, including via subclass. That's right, we're fine-tuning every single mod. Reduction in pressure on armor energy by tweaking armor mod costs and how artifact perks fit in. How build crafting is changing in match game. How elemental wells are changing. A brief look at the road ahead. If you haven't checked this out yet, you can read all about what's new, what's changing, and how feedback played a role right here. For those interested in learning even more, we'll be featuring more standalone articles like this in the coming weeks, to keep TWAB's not novel length. Rumble returns, catalysts are a-changing, exotic glaive goodness, and more. As we race toward Lightfall's release next month, we've got a few updates that we're excited to share. As a small preview, we're talking about red borders, dredging gilding, rumbles back, blues woes, year 3 catalysts, and glaive exotic crafting. Let's dive in. Red border drop rates. On January 18th, a change went live in-game that makes it easier for players to get the red borders they crave in all raids with craftable weapons and in the Duality Dungeon. Stay tuned for additional information about weapon crafting changes in Lightfall in the coming weeks. Faster Dredgen Title Gilding. Rather than requiring 30 Gambit wins to gild the Dredgen title, we're changing it to 50 match completions with bonus credit for wins. And at a minimum, this reduces the number of wins needed by 5, and most players will require significantly fewer to get to where they are trying to be, title tout. Regarding what is planned for upcoming patches, bye-bye blues at soft cap. It's happening. Starting with next week's patch, after you reach the soft gear cap, blue engrams will stop dropping in the world whenever that would have happened, and the equivalent amount of additional glimmer baubles will spray out instead. Bungie, we did it!
You really did it! Get hyped!
We did it!
Come on!
We got rid of blues!
We did
Let's
it!
freaking go! We're also adjusting all other gunsmith reputation gains by plus 25% to compensate for removing gunsmith reputation from dismantling blue gear. We may not have caught every single blue engram in the game, but a vast majority should behave this way. If you find a source that still gives a blue item, please report it in our held forums so we can squash. Rumble, y'all. In response to player feedback, we're bringing Rumble back to the Crucible screen as a permanent fixture and remove it as a rotator in the next patch. There are more exciting Crucible changes coming with Lightfall. Stay tuned. Year 3 Catalyst Evolution. The Catalyst quest for the Year 3 Season Pass exotics, Ariana's Vow, Symmetry, Tommy's Matchbook, and Witherhoard will now benefit from the Season Pass boosts like other exotic Catalyst quests. Additionally, any seasonal ritual playlist activity will count towards ritual progress for all Season Pass exotic Catalyst quests. Easier exotic glaive crafting. Did you know that there are class-specific craftable exotic glaives? We're adjusting the quests needed to receive them to only require one portion of each weapon pattern from the Wellspring weapons, as well as ensuring the first drop of each daily Wellspring weapon will have Deep Sight. Once you unlock the recipe for the first exotic glaive, the other class recipes can be purchased by your other characters from the evidence board. And there we go. Well, there we go. I don't have to grind Wellspring. Save the date at Dawn We Raid. Oh man, you're going to love the new raid, especially the part where, save the date, folks. We're doing it live on March 10th, 2023 at 9 a.m. PST, which is the second Friday in March. Another world first. Who's going to take the win this time? It's going to be Salt again. Who knows, but we do know we have some delicious popcorn ready to watch Guardians from all over the world shoot their shot at earning the coveted world's first belt. We need to talk about matchmaking. We've experimented a lot with various matchmaking tools through the years to help make PvP more enjoyable for all. Earlier last year, we spoke about what the team had in their sights for future changes. With those goals in mind, we've got the Destiny 2 Rituals team and the Sandbox teams here to go over a few things like matchmaking, abilities, and weapon tweaks. First, let's look at matchmaking. Destiny 2 Rituals team. In previous TWABs, we have talked about our goals to make the Crucible an accessible and fair activity for all players and how we plan to accomplish those goals with matchmaking. In Season 18, we added a loose form of skill-based matchmaking to Control. We gathered data, reviewed the analytics, and adjusted the matchmaking configs, establishing the foundation for Season 19's matchmaking for Quick Play, Iron Banner, and competitive 3v3. In Season 19, we added Fireteam-based matchmaking. And as before, we will continue reviewing the analytics and player feedback to adjust our codings configs as necessary. Fireteam-based matchmaking is the first step towards enabling a fair playing field for fire teams of all sizes and eliminating the need for freelance nodes. As we grow more confident in our settings, expect to see fewer freelance nodes beginning with Iron Banner. We know that it may seem a little jarring written out in text like that, but this is a part of the process for long-term goals that will improve the experience across the board. After we've gotten sufficient data on this from players and from internal systems, we will extend the Fireteam matchmaking feature to trials and eventually competitive 3v3. Once we have ironed out the kinks associated with Fireteam-based matchmaking, the next feature on deck is dynamic skill matchmaking, as mentioned before. Oh, they're avoiding even using the term skill-based matchmaking. This feature is geared towards improving matchmaking if you are in a low population skill bracket or during a particularly low population time. This is all to say, we are aware of the current status of matchmaking, and we are continually working towards improving our features and systems. We believe we are on the right track, and we would like to share some of the data that makes us believe as much. One such data point is match outcome prediction. We use a particular algorithm that considers multiple variables to predict the outcome of a given match, where 50% prediction accuracy is considered ideal. This would mean both teams are evenly matched and we are unable to determine the winner based on statistics alone. The graph below, figure A, displays our prediction accuracy for Control before and after Season 18 when we introduced loose skill-based matchmaking. The drop in accuracy is a strong indicator that our current implementation of skill-based matchmaking is headed in the right direction. So it looks like they dropped from 66% to 60%. Not a huge drop, but a 6% drop. It's not nothing. With the goal of 50%. So basically, the thought process here is if they can predict who will win a match, they don't think that's a good match made activity. They want it to be 50-50, meaning they think they know who's going to win, but it's a coin flip who actually wins. And in Bungie's mind, that's a good matchmaking system. So that would be another 10% drop in the accuracy of their current system. So it just to kind of put it in the simplest of terms, it basically means that Bungie wants to reduce the tightness of the skill-based matchmaking by about 10%. That's not exactly what that means, but that's how I figure it. Additionally, the following graph, figure B, displays our prediction accuracy for Glory and competitive 3v3 Season 19. The upper lines are the main Glory and competitive activities, while the bottom lines are the freelance variants. With Season 19, we adjusted the skill bands for matchmaking in competitive, leading to a significant drop in prediction accuracy, i.e. matches are becoming fairer. Note that there is still a strong discrepancy between the main code and freelance. This shows it's more difficult to produce fair matches with fire teams due to the immeasurable advantages that a fire team possesses: communication, team composition, team synergy. However, that is why we are testing fire team based matchmaking. We aim to reach a point where matches in the main node where mixed fire team sizes, can queue together, reach levels of fairness comparable to the freelance node, at which point we can confidently shelve freelance nodes. So it looks like they dropped from right around 72% to about 58%. So a bigger drop here than we saw in the Glory, in the Valor playlist. Hopefully this provides some insight into our efforts to make Crucible a fair, accessible, and fun experience for all players. This is an ongoing process, so please pardon the dust as we build toward a better future. Wouldn't it be funny if we found out that the system that they had in place before they did all of this was actually around 50% predictability? Let's chat airborne effectiveness. Airborne effectiveness, weapons, abilities, oh my. For the second TWAB of the year, we're diving back into the world of sandbox goodness with the team to learn about what's next for Destiny 2 regarding combat, movement, and more. Take it away, Destiny Sandbox team. Airborne effectiveness. We introduced the airborne effectiveness system in Season 17 to give us levers to balance weapon effectiveness while airborne in a consistent and comprehensive way. We did this in preparation for a sandbox that's introducing more airborne gameplay options, particularly with the Strand subclasses in Lightfall. We had two primary reasons for this. It's important to balance the increasing number of airborne movement options against their combat effectiveness, as we don't want Destiny 2 to shift exclusively towards airborne gunplay over time. In a game where most modes did not have skill-based matchmaking, players using airborne playstyle could be extremely oppressive. The first reason remains true, but the second has become less relevant in SBMM as SBMM has rolled out across more PvP modes. And despite achieving our goals, the cost in player fun was too high. After observing for a season, we made some updates in each subsequent weapon balance update while starting on a larger rework in Lightfall. We've been playtesting these changes for a while now and are confident we can safely pull them into the Season 19 mid-season balance update. Airborne effectiveness affects the following aspects of weapons. These affects both mouse and keyboard as well as controller unless otherwise noted. Auto aim, aka bullet bin, corrects bullets towards a target within the auto aim cone. Precision angle threshold controls how far away you can be from a head and still get a headshot instead of a body shot from auto aim. Magnetism, aka reticle friction and adhesion, controller only, slows down your reticle when it passes over a target. Accuracy controls how much bullet spread out with repeated firing. Spread angle, pellet shotguns only, controls the width of shotgun spread pattern. With this update, you can expect a primary weapon with no investment, i.e. the default AE stat of the weapon, to be as accurate, shoot just as straight as a primary weapon with the Icarus grip mod equipped did before the introduction of AE. The auto aim angle is also significantly improved and the magnetism penalty has been eliminated. Instead of relying on accuracy and aim assist penalties, we're requiring more precision to land crits while airborne. This means your guns will behave more like they do when grounded, except that you must aim right at the head to get a headshot unless you really build for airborne gameplay. One side effect of this change is that airborne gameplay on controller should feel better than ever before with modern investment, since we've reduced the airborne magnetism penalty below that was in game before AE. We still don't want to be too easy to build. We still don't want it to be too easy to build into AE with special weapons, but we believe we have space to reduce the penalties on shotguns and sniper rifles. We may revisit this later. In playtesting, this makes baseline airborne gameplay feel substantially better, and building into higher AE feels more rewarding. Okay, so a lot of PvP players should be happy with that. Primary weapons, aim assist, reduced all additional primary weapon auto aim bullet bin penalties by 60% at 0 AE for both mouse and keyboard and controller. Increase the precision angle, how far off a head target you can be and still have auto aim give you a headshot instead of a body shot by 50%. At 100% AE, change the curve to be exponential so you get more benefit at high AE for M&K and control. Removed all additional primary weapon magnetism reticle penalties at 60 to 100 AE and get magnetism bonus compared to pre-AE for controller. Reduce airborne accuracy penalty for all primary weapons per weapon type. Hand cannon, sidearm 60%, auto rifle, scout rifle, pulse rifle, submachine gun 20%, bow 30%. Special weapons, sniper rifles and slug shotguns reduce base airborne accuracy penalty by 50%. So shotguns and snipers are getting 50% more accurate in the air. Pellet shotguns fully removed airborne accuracy penalty, so you just have to land your pellets. That's a great change. Shotguns will be totally consistent in the air. If you hit your shots, you get the kill. Weapon types. Some SMGs have long been heavily dependent on the range stat to be competitive. SMGs with a high range stat easily outclass all other SMGs at low range auto rifles and hand cannons. We recently made a change that brought these higher range options more in line, but the difference between them and other SMGs was still too large. In some special case, offenders that could hit nearly maximum range were still a bit too large. As such, we have made a large improvement to SMG performance at lower range values, combined with a small decrease to the higher range values. General, increased damage and aim assist fall off start at 0 range by 30%. Reduced damage and aim assist fall off start at 100 range by 6%. Okay. Adaptive SMGs lag behind lightweights in effectiveness, dealing more body shot damage, but much less critical hit damage despite sharing the same rate of fire. To narrow this gap, we have increased their critical hit multiplier, which makes them feel more rewarding in skilled hands and increase their lethality against certain resilience values. Increased critical hit multiplier from 1.44 to 1.5. Crit damage goes from 16.2 to 16.9. We inadvertently skipped Forensic Nightmare when we adjusted the zoom of other SMGs, so we're correcting that oversight. Increased Forensic Nightmare zoom from 13 to 14. Pulse rifles are very potent in the current meta for a multitude of reasons. Their effectiveness and ease of use at longer ranges makes it hard to close the distance to challenge them with many other weapons. This is especially true on M&K, where the normal effective range is significantly increased by the lighter bullet spread of each burst. The current map rotation, which is scheduled to change in Lightfall for both competitive Crucible and quick play, heavily favors the long range playstyle, and airborne effectiveness had made airborne play more difficult. With those things in mind, we didn't want to hit pulse rifles too hard and without first seeing the effects of the other changes on the overall sandbox, but we have reduced the top end range of pulse rifles on all input types and increased their native recoil on M&K to bring their ease of use more in line with controller. These changes should combine to make pulse rifles less effective at longer ranges without hurting players who choose to use them more actively. General, reduce aim assist fall off start at 100 by 10%, reduce damage fall off start at 100 by 5%, increase recoil by 20% on M&K. BXR Battler is by far the most effective legendary pulse rifle, in large part due to being extremely strong up close with the legacy frame intrinsic and highly lethal at long range with the best in subfamily zoom. We felt the fantasy of the gun fit better with the CQB hipfire aggressive style of gameplay, so we have brought the zoom down more closely match standard lightweight pulse rifles, which will open some space for other options to work in. Reduce BXR Battler zoom from 20 to 18. The mid-season 18 sidearm aim assist fall-off buff had the desired effect of encouraging players on both input devices to experiment with sidearms. After letting the meta settle, sidearms have cemented themselves as very strong contenders to the close quarters engagement, but they are exceeding their intended effective range by a small amount. We've walked back the buff slightly to pull them in and give other lower range primary weapons a little more room to thrive. Reduce season 18 aim assist fall off distance buff from 30 to 20%. Exotics, Dead Messenger can be oppressive to play against, as the triple wave pattern can easily be combined with a number of abilities or other weapons to effectively one-hit kill a player, so we've brought the damage down significantly to make such playstyles less effective. With this change, it still has use cases in PvP and hasn't changed at all in PvE, but it is a lot less frustrating to play against. Reduce wave splash damage against players by 35%. Wow. All you Dead Messenger mains, get wrecked. Dead Man's Tales tweak in the 6.3.0 update, switching its aiming from preferring body shots to preferring crits, had a much more dramatic effect than expected. The weapon was initially tuned around it preferring body shots. This meant it had a larger aim assist cone to compensate, and once this was addressed, it spiked in effectiveness. At the same time, a damage penalty for hitting maximum stacks of cranial spikes never felt good. We pulled back various hipfire tuning to make hipfire at long range much harder and remove the cranial spikes penalty. So remove the damage penalty for 5 stacks of cranial spikes, reduce hipfire and airborne aim assist cones by 25% on M&K, reduce hipfire cone angles bonus scaling from 20 to 5%, reduce hipfire precision aim cone angle from 3 degrees to 0.8 degrees, reduce hipfire auto aim fallout scaler from 1.5 to 1.1. I don't know exactly what all that means, but I know it means DMT will be less oppressive. Perks. We're seeing revoker usage increase as more PvP modes have power level removed. The reversal of fortune perk is extremely strong, particularly in combination with certain playstyles. Ultimately, we decided to cap the maximum return on this by requiring multiple misses to return one shot. Now triggers on 2 misses within 6 seconds. Interesting. I don't know how I feel about that one, but I'm sure they have their reasons. The future. Coming in Lightfall, we're doing a heavy weapon balance pass, adding subclass 3.0 verbs to several exotic weapons, tuning kinetic weapons, and adding a new perk to make kinetic weapons more valuable. In post-Lightfall seasons, we'll be shipping some updates we're pretty chuffed about, whatever that means. More substantial changes to weapon hipfire reticles, with the goal of exposing more information specific to weapon types or exotic functionality. A full auto melee setting. Ooh, full auto melee. Another set of craftable, reprised raid weapons with an origin trait, similar to what we did to Deepstone Crypt weapons in Season 19. Regular seasonal and mid-season balance updates and more. We also wanted to call out one more change, this time about the Titan exotic gauntlet Titan Ramparts. Titan Ramparts increase the cooldowns of the barricade ability while Titan Ramparts are equipped by 70%. Increase the amount of damage players deal to a Titan barricade by 25%. Wow. So a big nerf to Titans. This change should decrease how often one sees a Titan barricade in a PvP match, as well as add more opportunities for effective counterplay. Okay, now on to abilities. In patch 6.3.0.5, scheduled to be released the week of January 24, we're releasing some ability changes that we've been playtesting in Lightfall to address some outliers in both PvE and PvP. In the Crucible, class ability uptime has inflated significantly over the course of the last year, so we're increasing the base cooldown of Barricade, Thruster, and Dodge by 20%. This is effectively a nerf on Heart of Inmost Light. Increase base cooldown time of the following class abilities by 20%. Barricade, Towering Barricade base cooldown increase from 40 seconds to 48. Rally Barricade cooldown increase from 32 to 38 seconds. Thruster base cooldown increase from 30 to 36 seconds. Dodge, Marksman's Dodge base cooldown increase from 29 to 34. Why are we nerfing Dodge? Bungie, come on. Marksman's Dodge has base cooldown increase from 29 to 34 seconds. Gambler's Dodge base cooldown increase from 38 to 46 seconds. Unnecessary. With update 6.3.0 at the launch of Season 19, we reduced the linger time of Touch of Thunder's enhanced storm grenades, but this hasn't meaningfully removed the needle on either their potency or usage across game modes. So we're taking a harder swing here. We're reducing the damage dealt by each lightning strike by 25%, making it significantly easier to avoid the roaming storm by decreasing its tracking speed and distance, especially near the start of its lifetime. Touch of Thunderstorm grenades. Secondary strike damage reduced from 40 to 30. Added a 0.24 second delay between the grenade's initial strike on impact and the creation of the roaming storm. The roaming storm's travel speed now begins at 1.5 meters per second and ramps up over 1.3 seconds to a maximum of 3 meters per second. This previously traveled at a flat 3.5 meters per second. The roaming storm's target search range now increases over 2 seconds after creation rather than starting at full size. In August 2021, with update 5.3.0, we added weapon penalties that affected the player while sliding. The goal of this change was to reduce the percentage of engagements where the outcome was effectively decided by sliding, especially when used with shotguns that instantly ended the fight from significant range. Shotguns and other weapons have been tuned since then, and we've implemented skill-based matchmaking into the Crucible, so we're removing the slide penalties in order to improve the feel and consistency of combat. Nice. Remove stability, incoming flinch, and shotgun pellet spread penalties while sliding. It's important to note that these changes are a final step toward what we want to be ability, potency, and uptime. With Lightfall and beyond, we have large-scale ability balance tuning in the works, and we'll have more to share in the near future. Woo, that was a lot. Lunar New Year. New Lunar New Year. Who this? 2023 is the year of the rabbit in the Chinese zodiac, with bunny cuteness symbolizing a year filled with hope, prosperity, longevity, and peace. It's also another reason to celebrate. So what do we have to kick off the year of the rabbit? From January 17 to 31, you'll see Lunar New Year loot from Old Test. So you want to mosey over to the Eververse, just like last year. Her Year of the Rabbit wares will celebrate a fresh start with new items and some blasts from lunar years past. Oh, and if you happen to see a mysterious red envelope at the Eververse, you're going to want to grab that for celebratory gift of bright dust, to splurge on some sweet cosmetics at a later date because you deserve it. Treat yourself. And for those that may be looking to stay at home due to something like a bad hair day, oh my gosh, and get that celebration on even sooner, we also got a nifty free emblem for Guardians to to ring in the new year rabbit in style. There you go. And that's an emblem code. Unclaimed Older Prime Gaming loot is about to expire. It's like Destiny for your phone. Season of the Seraph has new ways to evolve weapon play. Some hilarious scenes. Oh, I'm sorry, we meant cute ways regarding Clovis and everybody's favorite Gumpy Grandpa Osiris, and some beautiful Warmind inspired imagery. Because of that, we've gotten a lot of requests for higher resolution images and wallpaper fun. And as ye shall receive, ask and ye shall receive. Now go make that phone pretty in a way that only Shiny New Wallpaper knows how. Here are a few you can take with you, with more found in the links below. So we have some wallpapers that are pretty cool. I like that. That's a really cool wallpaper. We have the Traveler over Earth. Hey, that was our thumbnail from the last thing. Mobile downloads, so on and so on. Player support report. Known issues. Movie of the week. Congratulations to Salt. Movie of the week. Nice. Congratulations to Madam Show. Congratulations to Lemon Boy, Artist of the Week. Congratulations to Gustavo, Anxiety. One last thing, new year, new socials. One goal we have this year to continue to improve on how we communicate with our community. In the past, we've relied heavily on community manager accounts to share a lot of information, context, and clarifications. Often work great. And we saw that many of you appreciated the additional transparency, but it also created some unfun times for community managers and other Bungie employees who share Destiny 2 specific information from their personal accounts. We want to make sure we are protecting our people without sacrificing opportunities to engage directly with you on various platforms. So what are we doing? Today, we're creating Destiny 2 team accounts on the following platforms to help us move away from using community managers' personal accounts as we have in the past. Twitter, so you're going to want to follow these accounts. Twitter, Destiny 2 team, Bungie.net, Destiny 2 team, and Reddit, Destiny 2 team. There you go. So you're going to want to give those accounts a follow. These are live now, and where you will still see us interacting with the community going forward. Our goal is not to share less info or shy away from sharing context or clarification when possible, but to use the accounts to be more proactive in these efforts and avoid the need to follow and tag several CMs. What about community managers? I like following them. You're still free to follow me and the rest of the CM gang, as well as any other Bungie employees you see out there. We will all still be posting memes, sharing cool Destiny art, and having fun on our personals. But if you want answers to questions or a good avenue to share your Destiny 2 specific feedback, the Destiny 2 team accounts are the new hotness. There you go. This is actually a good change. Protect your energy. I like it. Nobody deserves harassment. So it can all go to the Destiny 2 team accounts, and then they have their personal accounts. And there you go. Second TWAB in the books. There are a few more of these handy TWABs before Lightfall arrives, including more on Strand, upcoming economy changes, and more. You can also look forward to special standalone articles from different developer teams, like the one mentioned above that dove into build crafting, which will offer more insight for those who want it. And keep TWABs a little more focused on a hub of info without drowning in word counts. Think informed, but not in a panic. I don't want to read a 10,000 word blog post type of way, you know? Anyway, more to come. But for now, make sure you're drinking that water. Prioritize that self-care. Remember to always lead with your kindest foot forward. See you next week, friends. I should go hippie. And there you go. That's this week's TWAB. That's a mouthful. I need to drink some water. That was a lot to read. So if you made it through the video, let me know you made it to the end in the comments below. If you're watching this on YouTube, give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and you can follow me on all the socials. They'll be in the description below of this video. But thank you so much for watching and or listening. And until next time, peace out. I love you. Bye-bye.